Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of I went missing there again. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're doing fine, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're all good, guys. Thank you very much for joining the stream today, guys. Thank you very much. It is match day, guys. That is what's most important. Saturday, match day. You can't beat it, guys. Lovely jubbly. We're ready for today, guys. Well, we're kind of ready. Some of us are ready, of course, guys. But thank you so much, guys, for joining today. Please, before I start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash a like on the video, all that sweet stuff. Be absolutely fantastic. We're gearing up to the big game today, guys. Massive game for Manchester United against Nottingham Forest. Time to make it 4 in a row, guys. Why not? We take 4. We'll have a 4. Absolutely. That'd be absolutely fantastic, guys. Really would love that if we can get the job done today. Look, you know what? One thing I would say, this is one of the games that I've been looking at over this last, well, you know what? It's because it's the next game. But you know what? I have been looking at this game for a while, even before Nuno Santos got sacked and indeed Postecoglou got sacked. I've been looking at Nottingham Forest as one of the banana skins that we could slip up against, obviously away from home. I mean, it's unpredictable, this game, because I know how Nottingham Forest are and I know how they play against us. Especially at the City Ground. Historically, I know that we've had some great wins there. 8-1, notably. It's treble winning season, 4-0 the season before. But we have drawn 1-1. We've lost there. We have had some tough times down at their ground, of course, guys. Absolutely. And it's up to us now to approach this game in the right way and make sure that we don't have any slip-ups, because we've done a lot of hard work over this last few weeks. And you know what? Let's not throw it away. Let's not throw it away. Let's get the job done and let's make sure that we are, you know what, second by the end of the game, guys, because that's where we would be. You know, even if it's temporarily, we could quite possibly be second at the end of the afternoon, guys, which would be absolutely fantastic, wouldn't it, guys? Absolutely. But yeah, guys, I'm excited. I'm ecstatic. I'm enjoying the enthusiasm within the Manchester United fan base. Of course, I'm enjoying the happiness as well, because this is what we want, isn't it? We want us to be overly confident. You know what I mean? We want us to be excited. We want us to be zealous, so to speak, because at the end of the day, it's better than being miserable, isn't it? I know that some people just want to be miserable, want to be doom and gloom, and want us to lose. And there are some people that want us to lose today, unfortunately. That is just the way it is, unfortunately, today, guys. But we are here for the real Manchester United community, which is Stretford Post, of course, guys. And let's get straight into a little bit of news. News about Vivell and Barada. And Wilcox, they have a preference on who they want to sign in that midfield, guys. Who is the guy that they want to sign in midfield? But before I do that, let me just read through some of your comments, guys. Absolutely. Let me just say thank you so much to Coco. Thank you so much for your super chat, my guy. Really appreciate you. Really appreciate your support. As usual, you absolute legend. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a subscriber. And thank you for your generosity. Really appreciate it, of course. Now, guys, in regards to the player that Manchester United most eagerly want, it is, of course, Angelo Stiller. Wilcox, Barada and Vivell are big admirers of Angelo Stiller's ability and feel they can get a deal done in January. Now, look, you know, this is going to be very difficult to do because Angelo Stiller is a 60 million euro player. So obviously it's going to be a little bit difficult for Man United to pull this off. But I think it's imperative that Man United get this done, because we've got so many issues in regards to our squad depth, in regards to players going to the AFCON. So I think Man United do need to strengthen in areas, especially that midfield and the attacking area. And the great thing about Angelo Stiller is that he can go forward. He can move the ball forward. He can play as a number 8. He can play as number 6. He's very, very versatile, I would say. And to be honest with you, you know, I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't be opposed to Angelo Stiller. As we know, we've been talking about Angelo Stiller for a long time, of course, guys. We have been talking about him for months. And look, he's an all-rounder. You know, some people say he reminds me of Tony Cruz. You know, some people say different. But, you know, one thing's for certain is that there's a lot of myths going on around him about how he's slow, about how he's not tall enough. And that is a myth, you know, when he's going to be taller than all of our midfielders. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, guys, absolutely. But, yeah, look, seriously, guys, Angelo Stiller, Manchester United, Wilcox, Vivell and Barada are big admirers of Angelo Stiller. And it does seem like he's still in a march on that number 6 position, that number 6/8 position in midfield, which, you know what, there you go, guys. it's twists and turns. It's twists and turns. Things are changing every single day with this midfield situation. One thing's for certain: the earlier the better, isn't it? The earlier the better. If we can get in the midfielder, the earlier the better, isn't it? At the end of the day, if we can get one in time, for the AFCON, that would be great. Obviously, the AFCON starts on the 21st of December. The window opens on the 1st of January. The AFCON finishes on the 21st of January. So, look, if we can bring in a player right around early January, that'd be absolutely fantastic. It will help us tenfold, of course, guys, because we have got a little bit of problems in regards to the teams that we're playing. But you know what? It's a great opportunity at the same time, a great opportunity for other players to come into this squad and show themselves, exert themselves, and prove to us that why they should be playing, and prove to Ruben Amorim, more importantly, why they should be playing. Big up, Tyball. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Can't wait to. Good to see you, mate. Absolutely. Big up, Tyball, by the way. Stiller is highly appreciated here in Germany, even from rival fans. I think it would be great if we could sign him. It would be Tyball. And you know how long we've been talking about Stiller, isn't it? We've been talking about him for months on Stretford Post, of course. So it's great that other people are clocking on now to his abilities. And Angelo Stiller would mark a great signing for Man United. It would be a great addition to our squad, absolutely. And the great thing about Angelo Stiller, he does come across very versatile as well. He's not just a number 6, he can play as a number 8. He's classed as a CDM, but I've seen him go forward. I've seen him score some goals, and I think he would be like that modern day midfielder that Man United, I think, need. It will like revitalize, revolutionize our midfield, of course, and I think he will be a great addition to our team. Absolutely, Man United need players. We do have a weak squad. It's pretty evident, and you can see the evidence on the Brighton game. When we had substitutions, when we made substitutions, the level kind of dropped, didn't it? The level dropped enormously when we brought in the substitutions. We were comfortable up until that point, and then when we brought in the players, things just went crumbling down. So we do need much more better quality in options, of course. And if we can sign Stiller in January, it's look. In my opinion, guys, I've said it all along. It's going to be difficult for Man United to sign players in January due to the FFP, the PSR, the fiscal year and stuff. So it's going to be difficult in regards to try to do that. But it's not in the realms of impossibility that Man United could bring in an Angelo Stiller in January. Of course, if not, it is going to be a Conor Gallagher on loan, Ruben Neves on loan. Someone of that ilk will be on a loan. But one thing Man United are looking for at the moment is a player that can play in a number of positions, in particular the attacking area as well, not just the midfield. Man United are looking at attack as well. Obviously, we're going to lose Ahmad and Mbeumo, so that right-hand side is going to be redundant, isn't it, when the AFCON starts? So we're potentially losing Mbeumo. We're going to lose Ahmad for that. So Man United are looking at, obviously, yesterday we were talking about Lucas Paqueta of West Ham United, who is being linked with us, of course. Good player. But in my opinion, I don't see why West Ham would do a deal with us, especially if it's a loan deal. The only thing that Manchester United can do in regards to Paqueta is purchase him for the money that is valued at, and that is 35 million euros at the moment. Will Man United do that deal, or should we just put that money towards an Angelo Stiller or something like that? Do you know what I mean? This is the thing. I can't see Man United spending a lot of money in the window. Absolutely not. Not at all, guys. Absolutely. Let me just say, big up everyone in the house. Big up the supporters. Big up all bars one. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good. Big up yourself. Hope you're blessed. Big up Sanjay. Hope you're doing good. Good to see you, my friend. Big up William. 3 points today. Let's go. Mordy. Let's go, mate. Come on, mate. Big up William. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Big up G-Dog. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. See you at the W. Big up, my friend. Good to see you again. Watch along. Got you, mate. Gotcha. Big up G-Dog. Hope you're doing well. Big up Dave. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're blessed. I want us to be a serious community here and believe United are. I mean, you said that yesterday, Dave. This is a very serious community, Dave. You just need to look at the history of the community to know that. Who's been on this channel? Stiller is highly. I think I read that one. Big up. Absolutely. Dave, I see why they are looking at Stiller. He's quite good in possession and his range of pass is good too. With that being said, in the long term, I see a partnership with either a Wharton or Anderson at United. Yeah, look, absolutely, because at the end of the day, you're saying it. Like what the problem is with Man United at the moment, we have to be wary of about the number 8 and the number 6, because we don't want to get them confused with each other. Having a number 8 and a number 6 is important. Someone who could sit back. The great thing about Stiller, he's kind of a number 8, kind of a CDM, if you know what I mean. He's a bit of a mixture of both, so he can play out from the deep midfield and bring that ball forward, and he can act as a CDM, which is like a modern day sort of midfielder, isn't it? Partnering him with an Anderson, with a Walton, which is they are primarily number sixes, would be good, and it would solidify that midfield immensely. However, what I would say is that it depends how Ruben Amorim wants to approach this. Does Ruben Amorim want to go with a double pivot, which is Anderson and Adam Wharton and Conor Gallagher and all that, or does he want to go with a number 8 and a number 6? I always believe that you should have that number 8 in there and the number 6 in there, so you can mix and match a little bit. You know, a bit like when Scholes and Keane complemented each other, and one used to bring the ball forward, one used to tackle, and you know what I mean. And I think that's what Man United to do. However, I trust Ruben Amorim. I trust what he wants to do. Angelo Stiller would be a fabulous signing for Manchester United. Absolutely, he's a brilliant player, and who wouldn't want him? Real Madrid were interested in Angelo Stiller, and Real Madrid are still interested in Angelo Stiller. They're also interested in Adam Wharton, by the way, because they are trying to solidify the midfield as well. They're a bit like Man United. They want to solidify their midfield. We have to get deals done quickly because, you know, other teams are going to be lurking around. Obviously, Liverpool are going to be looking to fix their midfield. You know what Liverpool are like these days. They're splashing out money willy-nilly and stuff like that. So we need to get these deals done and not rest on our laurels and get them done quickly. Otherwise, we're going to miss out. You know what I mean? You snooze, you lose at the end of the day, of course, guys. Absolutely. James, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're blessed, guys. Absolutely good to see you, mate. In Bremer's Cameroon already qualified for Africa. Okay, great. They are in the playoffs for the World Cup, so it's not potentially. We are definitely. It is potentially if he gets picked. That's what I'm talking about, mate. Potentially, I never put guarantees on everything, mate. If he's injured, what happens? You know what I mean? Potentially, you know, is always potentially. Ahmed is potentially in regards to that. So potentially is factually correct, my guy. Nothing is guaranteed. He's not guaranteed the place. And I mean, I know he is, but you know, you never know. Potentially. It's like potentially Manu can go to the World Cup. Potentially, you know. Roman, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Ruben hinted at some players wanting out. At the end of the day, Roman, you know, the door is open. What I would say is that if players don't want to stay, if players don't want to fight for their place, whether it's fair or not, they can leave, because we don't need the negativity. We don't need any toxic environment, players that don't want to stay, players that want to leave. I mean, I mean, look at me. Look, I am a big fan of a lot of players that are not playing at the moment, but I just go with what Ruben Amorim wants to do, because if Ruben Amorim is winning games, I'm happy at the end of the day. However, I would say, and I've said this many times, that we need to build a squad and we need to get players as much game time as possible, because whenever adversity strikes, you can bring in a player into the team and they will be fit and ready, and match fit is very important as well. So it's very important that we give them some minutes. But if players don't want to do that, if players don't want to wait around, players want to leave. And I don't blame them. Obviously, the World Cup is around the corner. Xerxes wants to play in the World Cup. Manu wants to play in the World Cup. I don't blame them, to be honest with you. So I would say that, yeah, look, you know what? You can leave, you know, you can go on loan, or you could be sold if you don't want to play. At the end of the day, what can we do? We want players who want to play for this football club. That's most important for me and for all of you guys as well, of course. Dave, we have two. We have gunmen up top. That's why I think that's what the mid two would be, considering how he uses them two, man. Yeah, look, you know, one thing I would like Man United to do is I want Man United to be versatile. I want Man United to do a number of things at once, and not just be solid, not just be primarily exclusively defending or exclusively attacking. I want the team to work as a unit. I want teams to defend when we need to defend, attack when we need to attack. And that's what Man United used to do. Because when you think about Roy Keane in the middle, Roy Keane was traditionally, at the beginning, Roy Keane was an attacking player, if you guys know. But he moved into a midfield under Alex Ferguson. And Roy Keane wasn't a notoriously number 6. He was a breaker up of play. He was a destroyer. Of course he was. But what he also was, he would drift into that box. He would get goals. There were occasions when King would get 10, 15 goals a season. Yeah, I mean, in all competitions, of course. But he would get 10, 15 goals a season, and he would burst into that midfield, and you will see him as in the striking position. Out of nowhere, you see Roy Keane in that striking position. Like, where did that come from? And I think this is where Man United need to go. It's the rotation of the team, and not just exclusively you defend, you attack. And it's all about working as a unit and working as a team, and then defending when we need to defend as a team, and attacking as a team as well. Absolutely. Guys, absolutely. Big up, Dave. LT, Big up, Sal. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're good. Hope we do get a CM and getting still out would be great. As for today, I would love to get 3 points to continue this momentum, and finally feels good to feel more confident to win. Look, guys, in football, you never know, right? And I want to point this out to everyone because you know what? We live in a I told you so society. I'm not one of those guys who likes to say, I told you so. I like to remain humble because, in football, anything can change. It can change in a sixpence. Today, it can change. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, in football, you're going to lose football matches. You're going to win football matches. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. In sport, in general, that is life. So I do always expect the worst, but I also expect the best as well. I never have. But I like to put the worst at the back of my head and put the positives at the front of my head and say, look, focused, win the game. I feel we can win. We're capable of winning. Nottingham Forest in the bottom three. We have to go for it. But the cynical side of me says, oh, Sean Dyche, new manager bounce, a Man United coming to town. So I've got that mixture between that, of course, guys. But I would imagine and I would hope that these players at Man United will be ready for the game today. I hope they're ready, and they've had a week to prepare for it, to be honest with you. So let's hope that they are ready and they're ready to put this foot stuck in and get ready for this game, because it's going to be a difficult game, right? And the most difficult game is always the next game, and that's it. And it'd be fantastic if we can go against Nottingham Forest, beat Nottingham Forest 4 in a row. Now, then obviously we've got Tottenham, and that will worry itself. Of course, big up my friend Jaffa. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're good. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Roman, big fan of Xerxes, but if he doesn't want to fight for his place and isn't up for a challenge, letting him go is best. I agree, to be honest, Roman. I'm a massive fan of Xerxes. In particular, his attitude. I love his attitude. I love the way he bounces back last season. Obviously, do you remember when he came off the pitch and then the whole crowd were booing? It was out of order, to be honest with you. He was made a scapegoat. I mean, they would have booed anyone who came off the pitch that day. But, the great thing about Xerxes, he just seemed like a good character to have around the place, a good player to have around personality-wise. And but if he doesn't want to fight for his place, it's fair enough. It's fair enough. He's got a World Cup to worry about, hasn't he, at the end of the day? And I feel like he will get in that World Cup squad if he plays. I wish him the best of luck. I wish anyone the best of luck who wants to leave, but leave in the way that, his benefit is because they want to play football. I don't blame them. Xerxes played nowhere near enough football. He hasn't had nowhere near enough opportunities. I agree. And that goes with Manu as well. But what can we do? At the end of the day, Ruben wants to do the way Ruben wants to do the way. And if Ruben is winning games, we can't say anything. In the past, we could say, well, he's not winning games, he's losing matches, etc., etc., etc. We can throw that at him. But now, because he's winning games, why would Ruben Amorim change so much? The only thing I expect Ruben to change is the Mason Mount Sesko thing in that striker, but he's not going to change it today. I would hope he's not going to change it today. I hope he keeps Sesko on, because we're going to need an outlet like that, of course. But guys, of course, it's Man United against Nottingham Forest. I hope that everyone wants us to win. There are people out there that want us to lose, all right, just so that they can turn around, because obviously last week there was a lot of debates around them being right, them being wrong. What I would hope is that we're all on the same page now. And you know what? The best thing to do for everybody going forward is to support the team. We can criticize, you can criticize. This is not the Manchester United opinion police. I criticize. Every time I see that lineup, I'm criticizing something, But when that whistle goes, I'm wanting Manchester United to win the football match. That's what I am. And I'm always wanting Man United to win the football match. I don't care who plays, to be honest with you. As long as we win the football match, I don't have any affiliation with any players. I only have affiliation with Manchester United, And I really do hope that we win the game today. Taking it back to Xerxes and Manu, of course, I wouldn't blame any player who wants to leave. And at the end of the day, if they ain't getting enough football, and also I don't think Manchester United should stand in their way. I really don't think they should do that, because at the end of the day, they're not going to get enough football. It's going to be a little bit toxic. That it's human nature at the end of the day, isn't it? It's human nature. Players will get a little bit disgruntled. Players will get a little bit upset and fidgety, of course, guys. And we don't need that. We need obviously everyone on the same page, of course. Big up, my friend Roman. Good to see you. Dave, The players should also fight for United to be in the Champions League next season. Money generated from that would help us immensely in building a good squad. Imagine, Dave, imagine that Man United got into the Champions League. Imagine the money that would be generated, not only with the money with the Champions League, which is 100 million, by the way, but also the sponsorship deals, etc., that will benefit Manchester United enormously. We had a 4 out of 5 out of 10 window this window. Can you imagine we were in the Champions League where we would be? I mean, obviously nothing, as I said, football doesn't deal with absolutes. Look at Liverpool. Liverpool spent $500 million and on an already championship winning team, and look where they are. You know, it doesn't always guarantee success, but Man United need to be in the Champions League. The Champions League is weaker without Manchester United. It's less attractive without Manchester United. I remember a couple of weeks ago when the Champions League was on, and I forgot what the game was, but it was, you know, it was Champions League night, and the highlight of the night was actually an interview with Ruben Amorim. That shows how big Manchester United are. Man United need to be in that Champions League. You know, the teams that should be in the Champions League should be in the Champions League, because we got a lot of rubbish, a lot of tut, I would say, in that Champions League. Sparta Prague and Carrier Bag and all these teams that I just look. I know they deserve their opportunity. Everyone deserves the opportunity in the Champions League. I'm not saying that, but goodness me, there are some great teams missing out, you know, and we got to think of things on a quality level. The likes of Carrier Bag, the likes of Sparta Prague will get relegated in the Championship, you know, let alone in the Premier League. And I just feel like Man United, look, at the end of the day, that's football. Everyone deserves the opportunity. That's life, you know, at the end of the day. But I would say that Man United need to go in there, get in that Champions League. It would be better for the Champions League, of course. Jaffa, good day to you. We are going to win the match if we play with some aggression and intensity. I know it's not going to happen, but I feel we challenge him for the title this season and maybe, just maybe, win it. You never know, my friend. You never know. One thing I would say is that we keep our feet firmly on the ground. We have to take things game by game, and hopefully we win it. If Man United qualify for the Champions League this season, it will be a great achievement for Man United, considering where we were. Do you know what I mean? It'll be a great achievement. However, as we get on in the league, if we carry on winning, there's no reason why we're not in the title challenge. And I spoke to a guy, he used to play for Man United. He was in the class of 92, John O'Kane, if you remember him. He's a friend of mine. He's on Twitter, and he speaks to me often. He said to me that, you know what, it is, you know, when you start getting 3-4 points away from the top, there's no reason that you're not in a title challenge, and you should always believe there is. And there was that video, as I said yesterday, the video that I posted on Twitter this week, where it was Alex Ferguson. Alex Ferguson had just lost the league to Arsenal in 1998. And he said, look, sometimes you can't win the league, you can't win it every year, but your ambition should always be to win the league. It should always be to challenge for the league. It should always be like that at Man United. What is it at Barcelona? What is it at Real Madrid? What is it at Bayern Munich? It's always to try and win the league. Even though you feel that, even though it may be unrealistic, you've got to try your best to at least win the league. But it never comes to fruition. You know, you need a lot of luck, etc. But you never know. Good morning, Benny. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you, my guy. Really good to see you. Blessings be the community. Absolutely. I sound like, was it the Handmaiden's Tale? Blessings be the community. Big up everyone. Absolutely. Big up everyone. Big up Benny. Hope you're doing well. Tyborg, very important game today. We can get a consistent change. The mood around the club is complete. Change the mood around the club completely. It's already changing, and on our way today would be another huge step forward. It'd be amazing, Tyborg, if we managed to win the game today. Look, you know what? I'm not taking it for granted. I'm not saying that we're going to go out there, we're going to win. Yeah, 100%. I'm confident we're going to win. I'm confident that Nottingham Forest shouldn't pose us any problems. They're not really good at scoring goals. They're in the bottom 3. But you know what? As with everything, with Man United in particular, we always seem to have a new manager playing against. You know what I mean? So that is a bit of weird one. Like every single time we're going up against a new manager, it's his first game at the City ground in the league, of course. And he obviously won 2-0 against Porto. I don't know how good Porto are at the moment. You know what I mean? So Porto losing 2-0 to Nottingham Forest, it's no mean feat, to be honest with you. That's a great result. If Man United won 2-0 against Porto, it wouldn't be a bad result. As we know, last season we drew 3-3 with them, and it was a very difficult game, of course, guys, as we remember. But yeah, look, it's going to be a difficult game, and I think Man United need to be ready for this game. Well, I know that Man United need to be ready for this game, because I know what Nottingham Forest is going to be doing. They obviously have Elliot Anderson, they have Gibbs as well, so it's going to be difficult. They have got some good players, but we should be good enough to beat them. We've just gone to Anfield, we've beaten Liverpool. The proper Liverpool side, I know a lot of people are throwing at me the Crystal Palace thing, but the Crystal Palace thing was they were playing against kids. Liverpool kids, right? So let's ignore that. But Man United are just beating a full strength Liverpool side away from home. And you know what? There's no reason we can't go to the City ground and make something happen today. Absolutely. Absolutely. Benny, I like Xerxes, but where does he fit into the team, Sal? I think he will be let go on loan. And then so what I've heard, Benny, is that Man United would like to keep him because obviously we've got the AFCON coming up and we're going to be missing Ahmad and Mbeumo. So obviously we're going to want to have as much attacking prowesses as possible. So Man United don't really want to get rid of him or get him on loan or anything like that because obviously we need as much squad depth as possible. And but I would say on the flip side that we have to also think about the player. We have to make sure that we don't stifle the player, that the player has a best opportunity possible in qualifying for that World Cup squad. Of course, Xerxes has been in the Holland squad many times. Recently, he's been dropped from the Holland squad. So, you know, that's because he's not playing football. And, you know, we have to think about it on a player level. But at the same time, I understand why Ruben Amorim wouldn't want to get rid of Xerxes, obviously, with the attacking problems that we're going to have in the next couple of weeks, the next couple of months, should I say. Absolutely. Big up, Benny, you legend. Hope you're doing well. LT, we need to score first and preferably early to destabilize the plan to play defensive and counterattack us on the past 3 games. We have used to getting great effect. I don't see a pretty game today, though. Yeah, LT, I agree, mate. I've never seen a pretty game at the City ground, to be fair. Nottingham Forest are going to be getting stuck in. Guys, I mean, we've had some great results there. I'll never forget the 98-99 season when we won 8-1 there. I know it's not going to be 8-1 today. No Dave Besant in goal, etc. You know what I mean? But what I would say is that was a fabulous result. We need to look at that. But that wasn't a pretty game. That was a scrappy game. And some of the goals were very scrappy. And as long as we can mix it up, and the quality moments, we produce that moment of quality in regards to the finishing. For example, you know, I would like to see Sesko playing today. I would like to see Sesko up top so that we can have more chance of scoring goals. I wouldn't be surprised though Sesko's drop and Mason Mount comes in to solidify that midfield a little bit, but I don't think we need to do that against the likes of Nottingham Forest. I think that sort of thing should be reserved for the likes of Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea and stuff like that. But the most important thing for me, I'm not looking for an absolute blinding game. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for a Man United win. That's all I care about. Whether it's 1-0 off the backside from a corner, whether it's an own goal or a dodgy VAR decision, I don't care. As long as Man United come out of this game as winners and 4 in a row, that's all I care about at the end of the day. And then we move on to Tottenham, of course, which for me is like a mini final because that is the game before the international break. And also Tottenham have been our nemesis over this last year or so, beating us 4 times last season. Can you believe it? And obviously embarrassing us in that Europa League final. So we got to get one over on Tottenham, just like we had to get one over on Liverpool and Brighton. We got to get one over on Tottenham, absolutely. And who are Tottenham at the end of the day? We play Liverpool away, and there you go, guys. And as I said, who beats Liverpool away? Chelsea? No. Tottenham? No. Chelsea? No. Arsenal? No. None of them have beaten Liverpool away. We beat Liverpool away, and we should gain confidence from that. Absolutely. William, Forest getting burnt down today. Champions League is dead without us. Champions League, Man United are the Champions League. And I would say there's a few elite teams that represent the Champions League, i.e. AC Milan, Manchester United, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. These teams represent the Champions League for me. And obviously, Manchester United are the pioneers of the Champions League in England. Guys, and we gave a stepping stone to all those clubs, all those English clubs in the Champions League, right? We gave them a stepping stone to go on and fight for that Champions League because no one believed in Champions League, European Cup football back in the 50s and the 60s. It was Manchester United who were the kingpins of European football for England, you know, and we were forced home in 1958 on that fateful day. And because of that, we sacrificed ourselves for these teams to thrive. Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, to thrive in the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, this is why Man United this is why the Champions League need Manchester United in there. That's my opinion. And I feel like Man United should be celebrated as one of the pioneers of European football in England. And Liverpool like to think they are. But Liverpool banned English teams from Europe for 8 years. Let's not forget that. People like to forget that. Of course, people like to forget, you know, the reputation that Liverpool have in the Champions League. Of course, not least Juventus and Heinzel. of course, guys. So at the end of the day, look, I don't want to. Liverpool can talk their smack all they want, but Man United are the pioneers of the European Cup, Champions League in Europe, of course, for England. Dave, we have a good scouting team right now with money generated from Champions League. I see them bringing in some good profiles that would suit the squad. Absolutely. Let me get on with a little bit of transfer news again, guys. Vasco da Gama. Who remembers Vasco da Gama? I remember Vasco da Gama because they are a Brazilian club that Manchester United faced in the year 2000 when we sacrificed the FA Cup to go to the World Club Championship. We all remember that, don't we, guys? It was an absolute disaster, guys. We didn't get a chance to defend our Champions League, did we? Our FA Cup, did we? We didn't get a chance to defend it. We went to this World Cup Championship in Brazil, and we played Vasco da Gama, and we got absolutely schooled. Romario and all that lot, as we remember, guys, absolutely. But speaking of Vasco da Gama, on the positive light, guys, we are interested in Vasco da Gama, attacking midfielder, stroke striker, left winger, right winger, Ryan. Ryan is a young player, 19 years old, currently playing for Vasco da Gama, 15 caps for Brazil, 2 goals, extremely talented player. Man United are looking to bring this player in January. And why do they want to bring in this player in January? Because he can play right, he can play left, he can play up front. So basically what Man United are looking at, they're looking at the fact that we're going to lose Mbeumo and Ahmad, as we know, and we can bring on someone like Ryan at Vasco da Gama to fill in the void, and also be versatile. Left, right, forward. He plays on the left, he plays on the right. That boy Ryan makes Liverpool look, you know what I mean? And anyway, so he could play on the right, he could play on the left, he could play up front. So Ryan, Vasco da Gama, right wing, centre forward, left wing, 11 caps for Brazil, 2 goals. Guys, absolutely, and incredibly talented individual, and another youngster off the conveyor belt that Man United are looking at bringing in. And the great thing about what I've been talking about, I spoke earlier this week about Ian Sobriabra, of course, the Argentinian player, these South American players. The difference with the South American players is not only that they're cheaper. Ryan will cost around 18 million euros, of course, guys, so it's not going to absolutely break the bank. They're not only cheaper, but the thing is with South American players, they've got this different mentality, this different approach, this grit. Do you know what I mean? You're looking at Licho Martinez, Casemiro, this kind of grit, the South American, Brazilian, Argentinian grit, you know, and they haven't lost that street football ethic. You know, that street football ethic that in England we used to have, where this is why we used to produce so many good players during the 90s and that, because there was a street football element. Nowadays, it's, how would I say it, a pampered football element. It's a pampered. Players are too pampered. Players are rich too soon, and you can't trust them because they've already got their pockets full up, which obviously when you're rich, it takes away a little bit of edge, doesn't it? I ain't opposed to footballers being rich at a young age, but it does take a little bit of edge away from them, of course, guys. But Ryan, Manchester United, Vasco da Gama, 18 million euros, can play centre forward, right wing, left wing. Great player, guys, and a player that we've been scouting for a while, by the way. We've been scouting him for a while. So, look, you know what? Another player off the conveyor belt of young players that we are being linked to, which is good news at the end of the day. Now, guys, I would say another player that Man United have looked at closer to home, Leicester City, and the player's name is Jeremy Monga. Jeremy Monga is a 16-year-old. He currently plays as a left wing, right wing attacking midfielder. Again, we're looking at this versatile, can play across the line, left wing attacking midfielder and right wing. Jeremy Monga playing for Leicester City, only 16 years old, guys, 16 years old. England under 19, 5 caps for the England 19. Already has 11 appearances for Leicester in the Championship this season. 1 goal at 16 years old, guys. So this is another one Man United are looking for. And as we know, I spoke about it this week, Man United are looking at the next up-and-coming thing, the next big thing, of course, and players that not only the fact that we can sell them on, because obviously there's a lot of people saying that we're going to sell them on and make profit on these players, but also that can become superstars at Man United. And yeah, look, you know, if a player's playing for Leicester City at 16 years old, scoring a goal for Leicester City, it's unbelievable. It's just like when I was talking about Karim Alić-Begović, who currently plays for Salzburg, who's 18, who became the youngest ever goal scorer for Bosnia, of course, guys. So those sort of players, Man United looking for, there is a common demeanor here. So the likes of Karim Begovic, the likes of Bawadi, the likes of Ryan, the likes of Monga, they can all play across the line. Left wing, attacking midfield, or right wing. So Man United are looking at getting players that can go, you can swap, you can bring here, you can bring there, you can bring there. And you know what? That's good because obviously when you have injuries, AFCONs and stuff like that, you have players that can play in numerous amounts of positions, of course. Absolutely. So Ryan, Vasco da Gama, 19-year-old right wing, centre forward, left wing, 18 million euros, Manchester United. Look out for that one, guys. Absolutely. Heard it here first. Stretford Post. Stephen Maguire, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you again, of course. William, United fans' mindset should always be to win the league. Absolutely. Stephen, Gabby and Jamie on TalkSport said United fans need to give their heads a wobble if they think they're in the title race. The only thing they need to wobble is their bellies because I don't really care what they say, to be honest with you. They have no place to be talking about Manchester United. Gabby Agbon Lahore, guys, his only claim to fame is giving away the ball to Wayne Rooney for Wayne Rooney to kick the ball over the top for Van Persie to win us the league with the volley into the put-on corner. That is Agbon Lahore's claim to fame. So let me just say this bitter little sods out there, right? This is why I don't feed into their narrative. This is why I don't go on TalkSport and downplay Manchester United and talk crap and talk smack about Man United, because that is what they want us to do. This is what Flex does. This is what they do. They go on TalkSport and they feed into their narrative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please, sir. Yes, sir. That's what they do. And that's what I'm talking about. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I've been banging on about all week. Want us to lose to fit the narrative of the media outlets. Do you know what I mean? I desperately want Manchester United to win. And if Man United can challenge for that title, it'll be absolutely brilliant. Why is it in the realms of impossibility that Man United can challenge for the league? Why? Why is it impossible? Why? It's factually not impossible. So why is it impossible in their eyes? Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely crazy the way they talk. Look, we're probably not going to win the league. Right? But we always should aim at that. And until it's mathematically impossible, like I've always said, we should always believe that we can go out there and win the league. Absolutely. It's ridiculous. But no surprise. William, don't listen to TalkSport. Yeah, absolutely. William, TalkSport, United hate train, so they get better listeners. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Why do you think Mark Goldbridge left them? Do you know what I mean? Amram explained that the players like Xerxes are mainly important to the future of the club when we're in Europe, but understands it's a World Cup and they need game time. But with one game a week, it's tough, yeah, until the FA Cup starts, LT. It is tough, and you have to put yourself in Ruben Amram's position, and you have to put yourself in the player's position as well, because obviously we can't stifle their development and their opportunity in getting into the World Cup. And as long as we loan them out and they go to a club that is, a decent club, so that they have an opportunity to get into the World Cup. So there's no point putting them on loan and they don't play in the World Cup if they go to a smaller club, of course. But Ruben Amram does want to keep them in a selfish way. Obviously, we've got the AFCON coming up. We need them. At this moment in time, we do need them. But yeah, you have to think at the same time, the AFCON's only going to last a few weeks. And how much can these players achieve in that short space of time? Will they be dropped from the team straight afterwards? As soon as the AFCON finishes, will they be dropped from the team? This is the thing, isn't it? Absolutely. Goals for George, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Forest were one of the first English sides that made me fall in love with the game. They had that play fast, attractive football and fast, rich history, but we should get the job done. Absolutely, goals to George. Let's not forget about Nottingham Forest under Brian Clough, were an absolutely magnificent side. They spent a lot of money at that time as well, guys, by the way, with Robinson and Lennon and players like that, of course. But Martin O'Neill, of course, and Robinson and players of that ilk. Look, what I would say is that, yeah, they were a great side to watch. They won the league as well, didn't they? And during that period, English football was absolutely dominant. We had Liverpool and we had Nottingham Forest at that time. And Man United stopped Liverpool winning the treble, which was fantastic around that time as well. But Nottingham Forest defied the odds. And this is why I always believe that you can achieve things in life, because you look at Nottingham Forest, for example, do you know what I mean? And them going on to win 2 Champions Leagues, 2 European Cups at the time in a row, absolutely unbelievable. Brian Clough, absolutely unbelievable manager as well. They don't make them like that anymore. Do you know what I mean? Brian Clough, Alex Ferguson, that sort of ilk of manager, they don't. And yeah, look, you know what? That was yesteryear, of course. That was yesteryear. Nottingham Forest are completely different now. Obviously, a lot has happened at Nottingham Forest. They've been in the lower divisions. They've even been down to League One and things like that. It's been difficult for them over the last 20, 30 years, of course. I've been to see Nottingham Forest. I've been to see Man United against Nottingham Forest when Stan Collymore, Brian Roy, Steve Stone were playing for them, and they always had decent players. They always had players that you thought, well, he's not a bad player and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Stuart Pearce played for them, as well as we know Jason Lee and a lot of players, right? Crossley in goal, Besson. And I remember going to see their Man United, I think, when we won 4-0. And I always felt that they underachieved. I always felt that they were the great underachievers. Nottingham Forest were underachieving. They had great players, you know, I felt at the time. Do you remember Pierre Van Hooijdonk? Do you remember Pierre Van Hooijdonk? Yeah. That guy who, he was so arrogant, but he was funny at the same time. Dutch player, played for Nottingham Forest. Very, very good player. Absolutely schooled it in Scotland with Celtic. And look, you know what? At the end of the day, even to this day, they got Gibbs and Anderson. They've always had good players, but they're in the bottom three. We should already be expecting that Nottingham Forest are going to come out there, all guns blazing, looking to shut down Man United and looking to cause an upset. We should already be ready for that, and we should be ready to win the game, of course. But most importantly, Man United can't lose this game. And that's it, right? You can draw games. That's football. Premier League's competitive. Surprise, surprise. And the Premier League's competitive. But what I would say is that it'd be great to win the game, of course. But it's best we win the game against this one, because obviously the Tottenham game is going to be more difficult, of course, on paper. Of course, guys. William, only thing you should be thinking about today is 3 points. We're having it later. Big up, William. Big up. Prince, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Happy new month to you. Pinch punch, first day of the month. Absolutely. It's my month. It's my birthday month, November, of course. Hint, hint. Month to the community. We need square depth to qualify for the Champions League this season. Absolutely. I noticed that every time we make substitution, the level. Yeah, look, I spoke about this earlier, Prince. I spoke about this earlier in regards to the Brighton game. We were in control. We were in. It was easy. We're having a field day. When we made the substitutions, the level just went. And it's not just that. It's like any player we bring on. You know, I know Aiden Heaven played well. I'm not bringing in Aiden Heaven and all that. I'm talking about the likes of Xerxes and Mainu and stuff. They are good players. But we also have to remember, Prince, that when you bring on players as a substitute, it's very unfair on them, because especially if they haven't played in a number of games, it's very hard to get into the swing of things, you know what I mean, straight away, especially in the Premier League. And you need a run of games before you can judge them, you know, which is unfair on Mainu and Xerxes, because they haven't really had a run of games, have they, sadly, you know. But yeah, we still need a big squad. We still need certain areas of the pitch covered, of course. Jadosi, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Very positive today. Big up, Jadosi. Hope you're very positive. I am as well. My friend. Benny, my home team, Sligo Rovers. That's why you're called Sligo. Sligo, of course. Yes, I know them. Last game of the season versus Champs today. And we need a point to stay in the division. Sligo Rovers need a point. Bloody hell. To stay in division. I thought they were a big team in Ireland. 4-3, 400 and 430. So I'll be flicking between games. Absolutely. Be good to see you here. And I'm wishing you the best of luck, Benny. Absolutely. 98 watch, only 28. Guys, come on. Guys, 50 likes, guys. Breaking Dawn, every single Breaking Dawn, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I wish Sligo Wanderers the best of luck, my friend. I really do. Absolutely. Big up Ireland, by the way, every day. Arman, big up Arman, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Big up Blairy. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Sorry, I'm reading out the handles. Obviously, YouTube have changed the thing, of course. Do you think prioritizing the World Cup instead of United shows a good character for these players? No. I think that whilst you're playing in the league, you should prioritize Man United. And that should be your full focus. Your focus every time should be the next game. That's it. For example, like if England were playing today, I would expect them to be concentrating in England. If Man United are playing today, I expect them to concentrate on Man United. It should always be, look, in my opinion, your top priority should be your club. That's me, though, right? But in regards to footballers, it's about the next game. It's always about the next game. That is what I would say. And I think that players should prioritize the next game. And today, Manchester United, of course. Absolutely. Big up, Larry. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is blessed with you, my friend. Absolutely. But yeah, look, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, look, you know, I'm in good mood. I'm in the positive spirits. Hopefully, Man United don't change that. Hopefully, we go into that game today. We're in good spirits and everything works out hunky-dory, of course, guys. And that is what the most important thing is, of course, is Man United to win the game today. And I'll be absolutely delighted if we can get the 4th in a row, guys, because it will carry on this momentum, you know. And it's not about egos. It's not about me being right. It's not about him being wrong. It's about us having a common goal. It's about us going forward as Manchester United fans and getting the best out of what we can possibly get, you know, because at the end of the day, I'm sure many of us, if Man United challenge for a league title or Man United win a major trophy, we're all going to be celebrating as one and we're all going to be happy about that, isn't it? And I feel like we have to get behind the manager, we have to get behind the team. And if we do that, the positive energy will resonate, I'm pretty sure. And we will get to the levels that we want to get to. And we start winning games again consistently. Things are starting to change. Turn of the tide is starting to happen. And of course, we have run 3 games in a row, of course, which is fantastic. But now let's move on, of course. Tyborg, don't forget to turn up for the watch along, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, don't forget, big up Tyborg. Yeah, please don't forget to turn up. Even if you poke your head in, say hello, hi, and say, listen, Man United are doing it, we're winning, and yeah, come on. Make sure you poke your head in, guys. Of course, it'd be very, very good to see you, of course, guys. Viral shots, what's going on? To target West Ham left back, Semenyo said backup wing, well back, or Mateta, Baleba, Anderson, or Walton. I don't think we're going to get Semenyo, my friend. The reason I think that we're not going to get Semenyo is because of his price tag. And also we got Cunha and Embuemo. And Semenyo is a first-team player. He won't be sitting on the bench. And we have to remember that Semenyo can play left wing, but not left wing back. And I don't think he'll be good enough for that position. It's flavour of the month, of course, guys. It's Semenyo, of course, absolutely. But what I would say is that bigger the squad, the better. I rate Mateta, by the way. I've said that many, many times. But yeah, we have to be careful not to stifle players at the same time, if you know what I mean. Goals to George. I wonder if United train properly against lower league club sides to gain intensity and fitness, because playing against reserves and youth players is not it. I wonder if train properly against lower league club sides to gain. I think there's a number of goals to George. I think there's a number of how would I say it? Pointers in regards to training, how Man United can improve. If I think about like youth team football, and I think about Spain, for example, Spain have an Atletico Madrid B, Barcelona B, Real Madrid B, and they play in the lower division leagues in Spain, etc., respectively. And they get competitive football, and it always bodes well for their future because the youngsters have already played competitive football. And I think this could be a thing. I think this could be a thing for the first team, that they can play against the lower teams and stuff like that, get a little bit of intensity into their game. Yeah, look, you know, I think that Man United over the years have flattered to deceive when it comes to certain games, and they have always looked off the pace, and that is true. But I just hope that today they proved us wrong against Brighton, didn't they? Well, not me, because I predicted we're going to win, but they changed the narrative, didn't they? They played well, they won the game, they looked fit. And over the last couple of games, I have noticed the difference in the fitness levels. I have, and I think that's a good thing. And obviously, today's a completely different game now, and we're away from home against one of those teams. Now, Brighton, we were at home. Liverpool was Liverpool. We're always going to be up for that game. Away to Nottingham Forest is the teams that we notoriously struggled against in recent years. So let's change that narrative. Again, another milestone. That's what I would say, guys. Another milestone for us, of course. It's pronounced Sligo. Big up, my friend, home of Westlife. And we sold Coleman to Everton 60 grand. And that was famous Everton song. Well, it really was. Sligo Rovers. Sorry, mate. I say Sligo Rovers. But yeah, look, Westlife, God blimey. Oh my God, we got a little world of our own. Jeez, absolutely. Westlife. Yeah, look. I mean, yeah, fair play. They did pretty well. in the charts and things like that, didn't they? But absolutely. Sligo Rovers, big up, my friend. Yeah, Sean Coleman. He was not Sean Coleman, was it? Yeah, it was Sean Coleman, wasn't it? Sean Coleman was the Wales manager. But Coleman was a fabulous right back. I think Man United were interested in him I was here right back and a left back and full back anyway. But Man United were interested in him a long time. Then obviously the problem with Coleman, he had a big injury record, didn't he? That was a problem. Thank you so much, Sanjeev. Thank you so much, my friend, for your super chat. Really appreciate the super chat, my friend. Really appreciate you. And I appreciate everyone in the stream, guys. I really do. Thank you for your super chat. So, guys, I'm going to be finishing now. Guys, a little bit early. I've got a lot to do today. I will be back for the watch along later on, guys. Of course, I will be. And guys, don't forget to smash a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, Stretford Post. Put your notifications on, all that, guys, all that jazz. Thank you so much, Sanjeev. Let me read your comment. When this season started, you must have set expectation. Mine was anything below 10th. What was yours? Yours was anything below 10th. Mine was winning the league, mate. That's how. Sanjay, let me tell you something about Man United. Your ambition should always be high. One thing you should always do, Sanjay, if you want to support this football club, this great football club of ours, always have high ambitions. That's a low ambition, mate. Have higher. Aim higher. Aim for the stars, fall on the moon. Aim for the moon, fall on the clouds. Aim for the clouds, fall in the mud. You know what I mean? You know where I'm going with this. So always aim higher. That's a very low expectation. We're Manchester United. Never aim low. And that's what I would say. Absolutely. Prince, every game now is a new challenge for Man United. We adapt because every team is different. Absolutely. Benny, have a great day, everyone. See you all later on for the watch along. See you all later, guys. Glory, Man United. I shall see you later for the watch along. Have a great day, great evening, great night, wherever you are in the world. I'm Sal Warner. This is Stretford Post, of course, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. From 15th to winning the league is not aiming high. What is aiming high then? What is aiming high? Why can't Man United win the league? Why not? Why not? Man United should always be aiming to win the league. Study Alex Ferguson, Sanjeev, and let me tell you that right now, a fan of 40 years, right? Always study the greats. Study. And just because we finished a bad season last season doesn't mean we can go up the next season. It's happened with Leicester. It's happened with teams like that. They've done it. Happened with Villa. Happened with them. You know, they've done it. You know, so we always have to see, of course, guys. But anyway, guys, take it easy. Always aim high. Always do your research. Always study Man United. Take it from me, guys. I supported this club long enough. You know what I mean? Not just 20 years. A long, long time, guys. Most of my life. All right. So for me to be ambitious, you should be ambitious as well, guys. Take it easy, guys. Have a great day and a great evening, great night. See you for the watch along. Peace.